a funny old broad. She keeps you guessing.
Hey everyone, my name is Angela, middle initial K and last name Durden, and this is the Constrained View. Okay, here's the thing. Van Hollen, I think that's how you say his name, isn't it? Van Hollen? Yeah, Van Hollen. You know what he's really doing, don't you? He doesn't care about that Garcia fella. He doesn't, not one bit. And do not be fooled into thinking that he does. He also doesn't care about his constituents. What he does care about is he just got a lot of free time with the voting public by pulling this stunt. Garcia's not coming back. But let's just say that he does. He'll be heading back that way before too long. But Van Hollen sees a hole. He sees a really big hole, as does the rest of the world, in the Democrat Party. Now, the Democrat Party, well, let's just say that there might be some nice ones, but for the most part, nobody there has a spine, but they got a lot of hubris and they got a lot of chutzpah, as some people might say. You think about Booker, AOC, Bernie, now Van Hollen, and Cuomo. Cuomo. I was just talking to my editor, and he said, Angela, you need to tell people that Cuomo is going to be elected as the mayor of New York City. You know, this stupid Me Too crap that got him ousted from being the governor. Was it the governor? He was governor? Yeah, and put in that Hochul woman. I don't like her. Didn't like her when I saw her the very first time. But he got ousted because of that Me Too stuff. And he's been looking to try to figure out how to, you know, get back in the game. So he's going to run for mayor and he'll win. I mean, look at who's running against him. Nobody's a contender, even on the Republican side. I think there's Curtis Sliwa, that's his name. I like Curtis. He's been doing some good stuff, but he's not mayoral material. He's the guy that isn't comfortable in the C-suite. He's comfortable in the streets, duking it out, fighting evil. And that's where his power lays. Far be it from me to say anything else. But Cuomo will win. And according to my editor, who he told me not to mention his name, but I've mentioned it before on this podcast, so everybody knows it. He'll win the mayoral race for New York City. He will become the mayor. And then that will set him up for the 2028 run for the Oval Office. You heard it straight from me via my editor, whose name I shall not mention. You know, I've got a funky bit of hair right there. Oh, well, whatever. My hair does what it wants to do. But Van Hollen is going to make a big run for POTUS too. I mean, Booker's already setting himself up. AOC is trying to set herself up. I don't know what Bernie's doing other than helping AOC, because everybody knows he would never be able to be president. But Booker, you know, with his 25-hour speech and not having to go potty, I still want to know if he wore a diaper, a big old industrial strength diaper, because he is what, 50-something years old. If that man still got a bladder that works for 20-something hours, everybody's going to want to know his secret. So I think he wore something, or he had something behind that podium and relieved himself standing up. very easily and quietly. I don't know. It's a fun story to think about, though, isn't it? So we've covered the Sliwa, the Van Hollen. Van Hollen, he's just trying to look so statesmanlike. So statesmanlike. Aren't I statesman? I'm going to another country to speak to the president. Okay, so the president's not there. The vice president, we shall meet and we shall discuss. And they told him to go take a hike, kind of, sort of. And then they went, well, okay. So they let him meet with him. And they put him in a nice looking dining room. And they had their little meeting. And the picture of him reaching his hand towards the gangster dude. We're gonna get you back. We're gonna do what's right. What do you want me to tell your wife? Oh, please give me a break. Van Hollen, you don't care. No, you don't. But that's a lot of free advertising your campaign is never going to have to pay for. And but here's the thing, all that's going to come around and bite you in the butt. It really will. Because who in your state has been attacked by illegal aliens and murdered, killed, raped, tortured? That's right, you've had a few, haven't you? And what have you done about them? Did you show half? Did you show 1/10 of the care for those victims and their families as you're doing, showing for this gang member who shouldn't have been here anyway, and because he was here illegally was pushed out, plus he had all these bad things happening that he'd been doing on our soil? That little stunt you pulled is going to bite you in the political butt with all things. It's already biting you in the butt. You don't even know it. But there's a lot of people who are very unhappy, and they're not. Don't say, oh, it's just MAGA people. It's not MAGA people. It's people with a conscience, people with a heart, people who understand the difference between right and wrong. Right and wrong. No, right and wrong. People who don't want these bad things to continue to happen. People who want their families to be safe. And there you are, out advocating for gang members. People like you, Mr. Hollen, Mr. Van Hollen. You're the one that, it's people like you that are what make this, all countries, because there's politicians like you in every country, every single one of them. And it's people like you that make the citizens suffer. Why are you doing that? Why are you hitching your wagon to the star that is not Garcia? He's a shooting comet streaking across the sky that says, look at me, I can do whatever I want. And then it's gone, crashes to the earth. Little meteor. You're stupid for doing it. Just flat out stupid. Okay, fine. Now, let's talk a little bit here about change. I'm really tired of people saying that the voters always vote for change. That's really not true. Not exactly. Because change is a state of being. It's a thing. It's this state that something changes, it goes to that state. The process of change is just a process. is neither good nor bad. It can be good, it can be bad, but it's not the thing that people vote for. They do vote for a change, for a thing to change. Remember when Barry O was running for president? He said his goal was to fundamentally change America. Well, that's really not what he meant. What he meant was his goal was to fundamentally change America and the rest of the world so that it can be according to his vision. Because he had worldwide vision, not just America, to change. But you know, it was the word fundamentally, to fundamentally change. And he was quite successful in kicking that ball down the field. Don't you like that sports analogy I just did? Kicking the ball down the field. Shooting the puck in the net. What other baseball? Where's a baseball? Hitting a home run. Well, he was very close. But thank goodness that was halted somewhat. And then we had the Biden administration, who it was Obama's third term. Everybody knows it. But, you know, Obama could be getting some dementia here coming on. He has nothing left. He has nothing left to offer anybody. I talked about that another time, about his possible dementia setting in. Biden's dementia was already there. And nobody caught it until it was too late and he was president. And then seeing him up close and personal, 24/7, ooh. But you know what? They didn't care. Because you see, Biden was an agent of change, a fundamental change that Obama had promised. And Obama just used him. Obama was probably the one making everybody, you know, giving everybody their marching orders in the Biden administration. And no wonder they were so crazy. Because if Obama is already losing his ability to think and process properly because of dementia, then my God, no wonder things got super crazy at the end. You had 2 dementia patients, one, neither of whom know that they have dementia. Does anybody ever really know they have dementia? No. Anybody tell you have dementia? They just don't know what they're talking about. I'm fine. Boy, I hope I don't get dementia. Or maybe I do hope I get it, because then I won't know anything. Darn, I see it. In order for me to have dementia and it be fun for me, I'd have to know about it and be able to write about it. I'd have to do a podcast and talk about it. But if I had dementia, I wouldn't know anything. Then I couldn't do a podcast about it. Oh dear. But that's why the Biden administration, and then there was people pulling the wool over both of Obama's eyes and Biden's eyes and doing things on the sly. And all this stuff is coming out. All this stuff is coming out, and we know it. But the fundamental change has been stopped in its tracks. There's a good cabinet that Trump has now. He has a good vice president. They're very focused on constitutional matters. Constitution matters. It is the foundation for the country. I believe, I could not prove it, but I do believe that the founding fathers, George Washington and on up, that they were led by God, because it's a part of prophecy to be fulfilled. For God's purpose to happen, he needed certain things to happen, and he's going to make it so. And that was the United States becoming a Senate in power. And you can also well imagine that the United Nations is going to go away. I mean, all this is prophesied in the Bible. So the United Nations, goodbye. and religion as a form of power, organized religion as a form of power. They call it Babylon the Great. Um, that's gonna be defanged also. How these things are going to happen, I don't know. Bible doesn't say that. What it does say is that they will be. So that's going to be a change. It's going to be a change for the better. That's really a good thing. But let's talk about the nature of change. To vote for change, capital C, H-A-N-G-E, and to vote for a change are two separate statements. One is change, capital C. It's a name, it's a thing. It's got its own PR. Change. You have politicians that print up signs by the hundreds that say, vote for change. Elect me, whoever that is. Vote for change. They don't say what kind of change. But if you vote for a change, you are now, by that very nature of putting that word a in there, a change, you are saying, I want it to change from this to that. So you've got this, and you need a change to it. A change, the process, puts it in another state, changes it, whatever, stops this, gets this going. So that is what Obama did. He fundamentally changed by taking a system that was working. Granted, it had slowly been eroded away, but he struck while the iron was hot, and really made a lot of efforts in a short period of time that changed the power of the Constitution, the power of the courts, put in a lot of radical judges that were just waiting for the time to be called, and they're being called on now. That was not a good change. So here comes Trump and Vance and the rest of the cabinet, and they are also working for a change to get it back to this common sense, constitutional based situation that it's supposed to be in. And that's why I think I've heard several of Trump's cabinet say, well, you know, the voters voted for change. No, they didn't. The voters did not vote for change, capital C, H-A-N-G-E. They voted for a change. They voted for several changes, but they did not vote for change just as a generic thing. Change is just generic. My notes. I needed to look at that. Let's rewrite this. Voters voted for the repair of the judicial system, the fixing of the infrastructure situation, the making better of the crime and whatever causes the crime, most of which was the illegal aliens that were coming in. You see how that is more specific and gives an action that can be followed up on? But to say voters voted for change, they don't know. There's no action. There's no specific way to follow it up and to catch it. Is it happening? Is it not? I don't know. What do you think? You see, prove that I didn't do what I said, because now all they said was change. You didn't ask me what kind. So be specific. Anybody who's out speaking on the president's behalf. And mean what you say what you mean, and know what you're saying and know what it means. That's my advice for how to use the language today. what did I call? Oh, neither. Change is neither good nor bad. It just is. And it can't be proven that that's what you meant when you say it. I'm going to fix. I'm going to repair this, that, and the other. I'm going to make better this thing. Those are specifics. And I wonder if Cuomo and Van Hollen and Booker and AOC and Bernie, you see, none of them know this sort of thing. None of them. Can't think of. No. I don't think they do. So let's see. I think that's about it for today. So this is Angela, over and out.
She treats you right.